Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween are considered two of the best horror films of the 1980s. Although they're different, they both follow similarities as they both have codes and conventions of the genre horror. One of these similarities are the victims themselves. This is seen in both Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween in the opening scenes. In Nightmare on Elm Street, we are introduced to a blonde high school teenage girl running away in a panic as she's being chased by her killer, Freddy Krueger. Halloween has a very similar opening, with a blonde high school girl making out with her jock boyfriend as she's being stalked by someone seen in a point of view shot. This eventually leads to her being stabbed to death and the killer being revealed as Mike Myers. Horrors use this as it establishes who the victims are, who the killer is, and it sets the audience for what to expect as the film continues to go on. Both films involve a group of friends that are expected to die throughout the film. They're there to build up the tension to the showdown between the protagonist and antagonist. They tend to include stereotypical American teenagers, such as the bad boy, jock, and dumb cheerleader, with the main protagonist being the innocent poster girl of what teenage girls should be like in a suburban town. Both films include a female character whose dad is a chief policeman. However, even though that job includes power, they are seen as helpless against the killers towards their children. Music is key to horror as it builds up tension. They tend to use exaggerated diegetic sounds such as doors slamming, feet running, heavy breathing, and the sound of a weapon. In Nightmare on Elm Street, the sound of razors is heard before Freddy Krueger is seen, signifying his presence. In horror, less is more. Without being able to see it but hear it makes it hidden and unknown, therefore more scary and creates more of a panic for the audience as they watch it. Non-diegetic sound sets the tone and mood of the horror. It's used to alert the audience that something is about to happen as it crescendos and builds on the fear. It highlights the action on screen, such as when a knife is pulled out, a sharp, sudden sound is heard. In these films, iconography is used to link them with the genre horror. This includes their weapons such as Freddy Krueger's razors and Mike Myers' knife. Another thing is their iconic clothing, such as Mike Myers' boiler suit and mask and Freddy Krueger's orange and green jumper and hat. You can tell that they are both evil just by looking at them, and instantly categorises them both into the horror genre. The location of Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween are both set in the suburbs. This represents a typical American town, which will build on the audience's fear as they can think that will happen in their own towns. This brings me on to the uses and gratifications theory. Balmer and Katz suggest that audience members watch films actively rather than passively. For example, people watch horror films such as Nightmare on Elm Street to be able to escape real life, known as escapism. This is due to a repetitive, boring life that we want to have a quick break from. Horror enables them to feel fear and have an adrenaline when they jump, giving them a quick thrill. Audiences side and identify themselves with the victims of a horror film, as their character emphasises their helplessness in real life. The target audience for a horror film tends to be teenagers and young adults. This is also typically the main victim in horrors. This has an overall impact on their fear as they watch the film.
Gonna get you. Come to Freddy.